Hello, fellow horror lovers, and welcome to the Everything Horror Podcast. On today's menu, we are making room for Freddy vs. Jason and Call of Cthulhu in the cabinet of horror trophies. I'm trying to redeem myself in Naysayer Reviews and Screen Scares, while May faces a difficult challenge in today's Tracks of Terror. But first, let's get into today's topic.
Terrifying topics.
Today's topic is horror movies based on real events or true stories. So, well, it's as easy as that, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wanted to just mention some that we already, like everybody already knows about, you know about, of course, which is the Poltergeist, The Exorcist, The Conjuring, and Amityville Horror. Which
Yeah.
They're just so, like, well, what am I trying to say? Like, they're well known for being based off of
Yeah, exactly. But that's was my biggest hinder with this topic is that of course like, oh yeah, The Conjuring is based on a true story, so it's like almost like the entire Conjuring universe, but those I have a problem believing. So that's why I had to try to find stories that actually is more plausible than like the supernatural. But yeah,
and whether fictional or not, they're still considered based off of true
absolutely.
stories.
So it counts.
People claim so.
Yeah.
But my top pick is Open Waters.
Which I haven't seen.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. Well, it's about an American couple who goes scuba diving while on vacation, and they end up, when they resurface, they end up realizing that they were abandoned, left behind. It's actually so sad. It's such a sad movie. If you don't have the patience to sit throughout a movie where it's just two couples stranded out in the sea, and they're basically trying to figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
And they have like tons of sharks underneath them and stuff like that. So if you don't have the patience to sit through a movie like that, this isn't the movie for you. But if you can sit through it, it's actually really, really sad and devastating. But now what I wanted to mention for me was the fact that, okay, so I read this when I was doing some research on this movie and the story behind it and everything. But this little tiny, what do I call it?
I'm black.
Yeah, I can tell you're blank. Okay, well, this little piece of information made me burn up, because it was just so sad. I just wanted to cry just reading it. But according to the notes, there was a weather diver's slate found, and that's a device for communicating underwater.
Yep.
And reportedly written on that slate was a message, and on there said, Monday, January 26, 1998, 8 a.m. To anyone who can help us, we have been abandoned on a coral reef by MV Outer Edge. And then there was another one, which I think this one was written before that one though. But it's 25th January 1998, 3 p.m. Please help to rescue us before we die. Help.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just give you the chills? I almost want to cry just imagining and picturing them in that water writing that message.
Yeah. So spoiler warning. How did this story end? And this movie?
So the movie ended with, she had ended up with the shark bite or whatever on her leg, and she didn't even realize it was her boyfriend that realized that she had had that bite. But he eventually succumbs to the ocean, and he dies.
Yeah.
And she removes everything off of him, and he floats down, and the sharks eat him.
Yeah.
And she sits there and waits for a very long time. Nothing, no one ever shows up or anything like that. So you eventually see her take off all her scuba diving gear, and she swims underwater, and that's it.
Yeah. So it didn't have a happy ending.
No, it doesn't. Eventually, though, according to the notes, pieces of like their scuba gear and stuff like that washed ashore eventually. So the pieces were found.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Just talking about it like makes me sad because it's just so depressing of a story.
So this movie also just shows the flaw of like, because I remember, I'm not sure if the military still uses this, but the military used to have a body system so that we were sure that no one was like behind when we were going on like being transported, for example.
Yeah.
Then we also had a body system where you would like account for each other. But the problem is then, if both are missing, then you end up like this with two people not being accounted for.
Yeah.
So it's sad though that it happened.
I mean,
It shouldn't happen.
There was a search party eventually, but it took 2 days later for them to even realize this couple was missing.
Yeah.
Because they found the gear on the boat.
So that was a massive flaw in like that system though of making sure that
definitely.
everyone.
For sure, and I'm pretty sure it's changed by now with how they handle that.
These accidents often result in better security for the future, but it's so sad that it has to be like cases like this to happen for security to tighten up. But that's just how it is with everything. Like a tunnel won't be fixed until someone is killed by it. Something falling on them.
They're
or
like,
something
oh,
like
okay, well, there's a flaw. Let's go ahead and fix that finally. So it's devastating.
Yeah.
So, but that was my pick. What about yours?
Right. So I have 2 picks. One of them I found to be very interesting. And that one I'm gonna save till the end. But the first one, you mentioned it, and that is The Exorcist. So The Exorcist is based on allegedly a true story. So The Exorcist, the movie, is based on a novel, but the novel is based on a true story that supposedly happened with a young boy. This was like back in 1949. The case did involve a 14-year-old boy from a place called Cottage City in Maryland, and he basically got possessed and started to like they said like stuff was flying through the room, and he was talking like in tongues or like speaking Latin, and like words was supposedly appearing on his body and stuff like that. And of course they had to get help from some priests that came in, and they did several exorcisms on the kid, and it turned out well, like he survived and he didn't remember anything from what happened.
Really?
So
I didn't even know the backstory on this. I didn't know. I just knew that it was based off of a true story.
Yeah.
I hate this movie so much because it terrifies the crap out of me. I still can't sit through this movie no matter what. But that's interesting. I didn't know.
Yes, it was basically a diary from one of the priests from this exorcism that led to the novel that led to the movie.
Oh.
So that's how it came to be.
Wow.
But of course we have a lot of exorcism movies that are based on
a true story. Yeah.
But like if this one is also like, I have a hard time believing it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like when it's certain tragedies based off of paranormal or demonic possession, I feel like it's it kind of teeter-totters on the possibility of being a fictional
like don't get me wrong, like I want it to be true. I want there to be more between like heaven and earth, but so far I'm not convinced.
The fact that you want it to be true,
that's why I said don't misunderstand me.
Yeah. Misunderstood.
Okay, so let's go to the last one, and this one I'm just gonna try to tell you as a story,
Okay.
and then it's gonna be revealed which movie this is.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna start. So this takes place in the 70s and early 80s, and a series of mysterious and tragic deaths among Southeast Asian refugees in the United States caught the attention of the media and the medical community. And these refugees, primarily from the Hmong ethnic group, had fled to the United States following the Vietnam War and the subsequent conflicts in Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand. The Hmong people had been recruited by the CIA to fight in the secret war in Laos, and after the war, many of them fled their homeland due to persecution. Then, upon resettling in the United States, a troubling pattern emerged among some of the young Hmong men. Healthy young men from the Hmong community began to die in their sleep. They were often in their 20s or 30s, and despite being in good physical health, they would succumb to terrifying nightmares. They would talk of nightmares where they were being chased or hunted by an unknown evil presence. These nightmares were so intense that they seemed to cause sudden, unexplained death. This phenomenon was later termed sudden, unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. So the Hmong people held some strong cultural beliefs about the spiritual world, and they believed in the existence of a nocturnal spirit, which translated to English would be something like nightmare spirit. This malevolent force was thought to sit on the chest of the sleeper, suffocating them and causing their death. Now, medical professionals were baffled by these deaths. Autopsies often revealed no clear cause. The mysterious death also garnered significant media attention, and articles in prominent newspapers, including the Los Angeles Times, brought the Hmong refugees into the public eye. Now, these stories highlighted not only the tragic death, but also the cultural and spiritual dimensions of this phenomenon. One person who was particularly affected by these reports was filmmaker Wes Craven. And that is how we got A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think I actually heard about that before, because that Wes Craven actually based it off of our back history or story or whatnot, our beliefs, and
Yeah, because we just have to point out, like, you're Hmong.
Yeah.
So have you heard about this at all?
Yeah, it's in translation to English, it's when you get sat on.
Yeah.
But it's mangzhuo, and it's mainly when you for Americans, they just believe that you get sat on if you, and they supposedly it's been proven that normally when you have a nightmare or you wake up scared, it's the feeling of your body just freezing and you can't move, and you feel that heavy pressure on your chest that you're being sat on. But for us Hmong people, we see it different. You know, we believe it's some sort of entity that's sitting on us.
Yeah.
And preventing us from moving. So yeah, there's a huge backstory. And you know, with you mentioning that, honestly, I think there's 2 movies where it talks about being sat on, and the one of them even mentions about the Hmong people, which I believe it's called Mara.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told you about it. So
Yeah.
it was interesting. It was nice to hear about it, and for them to even mention the Hmong people, you know, and our beliefs in that. So yeah.
But it's like, if you think about it, like it's probably, even though the doctors didn't often find like a cause for the death, like it is understandable that many of these men that had been through the war and being like prosecuted, like and had to flee, of course they have huge traumas, and that could have led to what happened. Is not like unthinkable. So
no, it could. I mean, it could be simply they woke up and had a heart attack and they felt like they were being sat on, you know, because it's a heavy pressure on your chest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's unexplainable. Some are explainable, and every culture has their beliefs. So,
Yeah, well, I thought like I didn't know anything about this backstory for Nightmare on Elm Street, so for me this was like super fun to discover, and
Yeah.
of course since you're Hmong,
Yeah.
it was even more like exciting, or like I was so excited to tell you this because
Yeah.
it's also like just gives an insight in the backstories that you have told me about like the Secret
Yeah.
War and how the CIA was involved in all that. So
Yeah, it was nice to hear, and I'm actually kind of happy that you did that because I completely forgot about that fact with, you know, our beliefs and it having anything to do with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah.
Because I don't know, I heard it so many years ago and I just completely forgot about it. So thank you for bringing that back up.
But yeah, that was today's topic, and it's time to go into the first segment, which is gonna be Screen Scares.
Screen Scares.
This week it's my turn to get tested in Screen Scares, and Screen Scares is a segment where we show each other screenshots from different movies or games, and it's up to the other to guess which horror game or horror movie this is from. And just remember last time I was extremely nice to you.
Were you? I don't remember that.
Beetlejuice,
Oh, yeah, but you were hoping that I would not figure
The
it out, which I
Exorcist.
did. Yeah, but you did not think I was gonna figure that out, but the mom gave it away, and
Yeah.
you were hoping that it wouldn't have.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to be just as good.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
today I brought in a game and a movie. Are
Alright.
you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. And also, I forgot to mention
Oh,
that I am nice to you today.
I don't believe that for a second.
No. So what I did was I pulled in what you did to me once, and you did it to where you brought in not a photo from the movie itself,
Yeah?
but you brought in the
Cover or?
cover, the
Oh.
movie cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
so-
extremely good at covers.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Then you shouldn't have a hard time with this one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here it is. The first one.
What the fuck? Huh?
Really?
Okay, so it says with Pet Cemetery and Mystery, Stephen King scared you to death. Now he's going to scare you back to life. So, okay, so this is a Stephen King movie. The thing is that it has a stupid looking car on it, but it's not Christine.
That's offensive.
What? Is it Christine? Can it be anything else than Christine?
I don't know. Can
It can't be anything else than Christine. It is Christine, so I'm gonna answer Christine.
Wrong.
What? How?
Gosh, do you
How
have to say that?
many car movies did he write? Or movies? Oh, novels.
Quite a few, actually.
Okay.
Well, don't forget, you still have a chance
Yeah.
with the riddle.
Okay, I'm gonna
Are
pay
you
attention
ready
now.
with the riddle?
Yeah.
Okay. In a town where shadows play, there are secrets tucked away. The past returns to have its say. Ghosts of old lead hearts astray. A brother's love, a tragic scene. A haunting tale, a vicious scheme. From death they rise to vent their spleen. In nightmares dark, they reign supreme. Evil lurks in memory's track. For those who dare to turn their back. Be warned, the dead may reattack and bring the haunting terror back.
What? I feel like how you read it like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. What? Okay, so there's like the zombies in this movie. I can't remember Stephen King have any zombie related. But you said also something about traveling back in time. All of a sudden I speak so much Scandinavian English because I'm so unsure. Okay, so I had my hopes up that this was Christine, but it was not. I'm gonna say Stephen King.
I'm gonna try to go through this without giving you any hints at all.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm just a blank, so I'm gonna say It.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong!
I knew that.
Alright, and it is Stephen King's Sometimes They Come Back.
Sometimes they come back? Has
Hey!
anyone ever heard of this one?
Yes,
Have you heard about this one?
I've watched all of them. I told you about this.
All of them? Is there
Yes.
more than one?
Yes.
What are they called then? Sometimes they come back again?
Yes.
That's so stupid! Is there even more than two?
Yeah, but you know
They
what?
keep coming back? What the
Why are you being so rude?
Because-
This is actually a classic. And it's really
Is it?
good for those who love old classic Stephen King's movies. This is one of the top. Well, good ones.
Okay.
And for you two, definitely that. It's
Whoa.
offensive.
Oh! Chill. Whoa.
Well,
Whoa! Okay. Well, please let me redeem myself now
Okay,
then.
let's hope you do, okay? Are you
Yeah.
ready for the second one then?
Yeah.
Alright, and here is the second one.
Okay, so this is from
It's a video game.
video game. The In Between with Mr. Door. In Between with Mr. Door? Wow. So it instantly I thought like, oh, could this be some sort of The Last of Us? But it doesn't really look like any of the characters. So this is gonna be yet another of your weird games that no one has ever played. What was it last time?
Which is
That
a
was
lie.
the Evil Within. Was that the
Yeah.
last time? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that this is Dying Lights.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
I'm
That
gonna
is
start
the-
doing this when
you are
when you guess things wrong. I'm gonna be like, really?
Come
you think
on.
that?
How could you think
How
that
blonde
that
are
photo
you?
is Dying Light? That's
I never played that game, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot you haven't. Okay. Well, anyways, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the rhyme?
Yeah.
Okay. In a town where darkness creeps, a writer's nightmare never sleeps. With shadows deep and secrets deep, the haunting story slowly seeps. The forest whispers tales untold, where light and dark in battle fold. A missing friend, the truth unfolds, a terror's grip, the brave behold. Mystery wrapped in night's embrace, a twisted path one must retrace. Beware the lurking, hidden face. In this dark realm, there's no safe place.
Okay. I know this one.
Oh,
I know this one.
Okay, what is
So this is the character that we saw there is a character from Dead by Daylight that got his own horror game. I'm just kidding. No, he was later added into DVD. This is of course Alan Wake.
Which part?
Which part?
Yeah, I'll still give it to you though.
Which part is the remake
still
of the
Alan
Alan Wake? It's the latest one, Alan Wake 2.
The photo, yeah, the
Yeah.
photo is Alan Wake
Yeah,
too.
I knew that.
You did good though.
Yes!
Air high five.
Air high five!
You redeemed yourselves.
Wow,
You got one.
I got 1 point at least.
Yeah.
That's better than last time, I think.
Thank goodness for the rhythm, right?
Oh, thank God. Alright, I just got 1 point, so
Yay.
I think it's time for you to get tested and see how many points you get.
Dun dun dun.
So
I'm
let's
ready.
just move on to Tracks of Terror. Tracks of Terror, the segment where we play audio clips for each other from different horror games or horror movies, and it's up to the other to guess which game or movie that is from. And the audio clips can be anything from music to dialogue to freaking sound effects. You never know. So today, let's see if you can beat my 1 point from earlier.
I got this.
Yeah.
Not.
So I've been nice to you today, and I brought in 2 horror games.
Yeah. Oh man, I was about to say yay, but then you said game. Nah.
So I'm just gonna say, are you ready for the first game?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
I think this first game is gonna be a bit more difficult. Another one is gonna be also difficult. Let's go.
I'll bathe in blood of the righteous. All of mankind commits sin. My coming shall herald glorious sorrow. I will claim the flesh of man for my own. 3 houses in halls of hell. 2 meetings of glory in my house. 1 to usher tribulation. I have come.
Go.
What? That almost sounded like this B horror movie that I watched, where this group of friends actually going down the basement. They listen to this track, and it sounds kind of distorted and weird. But once they eventually clear it up, you can hear it, and it sounds like a demon voice saying their names in the order that they die.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty interesting movie. I'll have to find it again and have you watch it. But you said it was a horror game.
I was so sure you were like way out of there right now and thought that this was a movie. So I wasn't gonna stop you.
No.
Until you actually did answer a movie.
No.
Okay.
No. I just wanted to tell you about what it reminded me of.
What is the name of that movie though?
I can't remember. Like I said, I'll have to find it and let you know, because I watched it a while back. But it is a B horror movie. You know what? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna test you on that one actually.
Okay.
It'll be fun. But for this as a game, honestly, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank slate.
Complete blank?
Complete blank. Because all I could think of was that movie. So now you're going to have to go with track 2 so that I can try to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then let's hear track number 2.
Let's go.
Rebecca, it's me. It's your grandma. I need you to let me in, sweetie. Don't you love your grandma? It's so cold out here. I'd love to come in. Let me in.
Let me in, you little bitch!
That was kind of intense there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't even catch what she said. It sounded like she said, "Let me love you, bitch."
Okay. I think she said, "Let me in."
Oh. Well, okay, so she does say, "Don't you love your grandma?" And I know there's a horror game called Grandma. So is that it?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Is it Grandma?
What? What?
No.
No, it's not. That's wrong. So she didn't mention the name Rebecca.
I could not hear it. It sounded so distorted for me. So.
But this was the mortuary assistant.
Of course you would quiz me on mortuary.
You keep saying that with everything I present to you.
Yeah,
You're like, of course you did.
Because it's horror games that you played.
And you have watched me play this 5 times.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to that stuff though.
Whoa, you heard it here first. She doesn't pay attention.
Sorry.
Wow,
Sorry.
that hurts my tiny little black heart.
I love you.
Alright, so you failed completely, but
Yeah,
there is still a chance to get even more than 1 point, so you can get 2 points still.
Let's go.
Are you ready for game number 2?
I'm ready.
Alright, so here is track number 1, and I'm just gonna say this is a compilation of several dialogues in this game. So it's just a lot of dialogues put together in a compilation, so you're aware of that, okay?
Wow. Okay.
Let's go!
What is it?
What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you. That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich. Don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say.
But just take a look at this. It's forest. Oh my God.
I'm gonna say this right now. I suck at this. I'm so bad. No. Me and horror movies are crappy.
Well, thank God this is a horror game then.
Didn't I say horror game?
No.
Oopsie, horror games. Shoot, I don't know. I heard lockpick. I heard forest. But he's talking to somebody and giving them a lockpick. Wait a minute. What's that game? Shoot.
Do you get any feeling of what time era we're in now?
Nope.
Okay. So you don't try to start with like pinpointing which generation of like gaming are we in now?
No, I just try to think. I mean, like if it was movies, yeah, but games, I don't really ever think that way. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm again drawing a blank.
Okay.
You're exposing my suckiness for horror games. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even make a guess. I have a feeling I know the game, but I can't even think of the game name right now.
Okay. Do you want the second track?
Yes, please.
Alright, so this is also a compilation.
Ah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'll just go and get some fresh air and be eaten by a monster.
You saved me.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Jill, you're here too.
Yes, you're here too? How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella?
That sounded I won't say what I think it sounded kind of like, because it was so weird with how you compile them together. You know, like, oh, I'm here. Oh, you're here too.
Yeah, but that was the same dialogue.
Well, some of them were weird, but so I heard Jill and I heard Umbrella, so this has to be Resident Evil.
Maybe?
Resident Evil?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm telling you, Resident Evil.
So your answer is Resident Evil?
Yes.
Which of them?
Damn it! Do I have to think of which one? I gave it to you for Alan Wake.
There's 8 Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
Or 8, no, there's way more than that.
I don't remember which one Jill was in. Resident Evil 3?
You have a tendency to ask me instead of
Okay, Resident Evil 3, final answer.
That's the final answer.
Yes.
Well, that is wrong.
No.
This is Resident Evil 1.
Ah!
First Resident Evil. I'm gonna guess many people, of course, that has played this will guess this, because Resident Evil 1 is notoriously known for horrible voice acting. It is so bad. And the first compilation had the famous one that is like, that was close, you almost became a Jill sandwich. It's so stupid. Well, 0 points.
I should have given you 0 for Alan Wake too.
Okay. Well, there was 1 point total then for us today so far.
Yeah.
But there's always the next time.
Yeah, let's move on to the next segment. I'm ready to test you too.
Yeah, but before we do that, we have to give the listeners a challenge as well. And I haven't been any more nice to them, so there is going to be a horror game this week, though the horror game is much easier than than what you had. So, for everyone at home, this is your week's challenge.
Best of luck, guys.
This is the worst fucking game I have ever played.
This is the worst fucking movie I've seen in my entire life! This fucking game sucks! Naysayer Reviews.
And it's my favorite segment, and that is Naysayer Reviews. And it's where we just read each other reviews from people that are less happy about a horror movie or a horror game, and express it in their own unique way. Let's just say that. Yeah. And this week is my turn to be tested, so it's just an opportunity for me to get more points. Let's go.
I hope you don't get no points.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? So
I'm
the first
ready.
one is going to be a movie.
Horror movie. Okay.
Yeah. Of course, it's horror.
Whoa.
Okay. Here's the first review. This is so dumb. The thing is so slow. Oh, see monster, turn around, jump up, don't run, touch your toes, sing a song and do the... Oh, never mind. Now you're dead. What were they thinking? How the fuck is this scary? I'd rather waste my time pulling this wedgie I have going up my ass. Breathe, babe.
What the hell? Touch my toes and wedgie? Wow, I was so disturbed during this. I couldn't pay attention. So, okay, so monsters that are slow turn around. So is this like? So is the monsters jump scaring you or are they chasing you? That's the question here, because I I didn't pay attention. Okay, so but it mentioned that the game seemed slow and the monster seemed slow, so it can't be Outlast because they are chasing you at supersonic speed. So let me think. I'm gonna try to think of games that we have played or I have played that is. You know what? I'm just gonna limb, and because I have no freaking idea. So I'm just gonna say Blair Witch.
Wrong.
Damn it.
Are you ready for the second one?
I'm ready.
This one is now not as mad.
Okay.
So yeah, alright. So it's absolutely chronic. Let me start with the good things about this movie. First of all, it eventually ends. Secondly, I like the dog. Seriously, it is fair to say that everyone's acting stinks in this, although the dog did okay. Well, I guess in Hickville, then this is no sense of urgency when even if a strange creature from space is threatening life as well as limb. I've seen the movie almost twice. Watched it about 20 minutes or less, then decided I would go and do something more exciting, like wash the dishes.
You know what I just realized?
Huh?
In the first review, when I answered you, I was thinking about a horror game. And you
Wow.
didn't stop me. I even said games I played.
Well, I was busy.
Oh my,
reading
that's
the
why
reviews.
I just mentioned Blair Witch. Oh my god.
Blair Witch is a movie, though.
It's a game as well.
Oh well.
They made a game of
Your
it.
fault.
Okay, so it's a movie.
I did tell you it was a movie in the first.
A movie with a dog and an alien. Where the dog is cool and the rest sucks. Because before you said alien, I was thinking of The Hills Have Eyes, because the dogs in that movie are or at least the dog called Beast is a true beast in that movie. It's awesome. But when has there been? Okay, I'm gonna answer the first movie that I thought about when you said dog and alien, and that is The Thing.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You were off somewhere. It's actually
What the fuck?
it's actually The Blob.
The Blob. Okay.
Yeah.
So do I get half a point? I got
No.
half the title right.
No, you didn't do that with me, so no.
Wow. Okay, The Blob. You
Yeah.
know what? I haven't seen that. I do really want to see it.
Oh gosh, no you don't.
Okay.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get onto the second one. Are you ready?
Yes, and this is a game.
This is a game.
Okay, I'm gonna tune my head into
Yes,
a
tune your
game.
head. Alright. This says things that happened since 2013. My mother's uncle died from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. My cousin's wife gave birth to not one, but 2 children. No, not a single birth. My other cousin got over her cocaine addiction. Leonardo da Vinci won the Oscars. Caprio. I graduated from high school and I'm 2 years into university. My brother got through 2 relationships. Trump became president of the United States. I spent 1,200 hours playing this game with unbearable bugs and glitches. Learned how to play the piano. Got to see Jay Lawrence's nudes. Bieber got arrested. Ebola epidemic ended. Same-sex marriage became a thing in the USA. New Star Wars film. Giant pandas are no longer endangered, and Netflix added offline downloads. But this game is still not in beta. What the hell?
What? That was a lot of information that
I got
had...
really tongue twisted because there was so much.
Wow, but the thing is that everything you said now has nothing to do with the game, other than the game being still like in beta. And didn't the person mention they spent $1,200 on the game?
1,200 hours.
Hours, and it's
Yeah.
still in beta. What kind of game can that be? And like to spend like that many hours, then we have to think of endless games, which is like the typical Phasmophobia, and you can have like the Left 4 Dead, Killing Floor. I highly doubt anyone has played Lethal Company for 1,200 hours so far. Subnautica, The Forest, but they are like fully released games. Or Lethal isn't, but it's still in beta. You know what? I'm gonna just my answer is gonna be Phasmophobia.
Wrong.
Damn it!
Yeah, that one, like I said, that review was everywhere. That's why I had so many tongue twisters. But yeah, no. Yeah, you have that one wrong. But this second review is actually a little more, it might tell you a little bit more, so you might be able to answer it with this one. Are you ready to hear it?
I'm ready.
Right. Like I said, the game is tremendous, but it's clear that the developers only want to make it seem as if they are working hard on this game. But it's all lies. Cars and guns from 5 years ago were finally recently re-released as new content. Funny enough, the game was overall better 5 years ago. Everything from the graphics to the gameplay. This game was severely downgraded for console release. If you criticize developers whatsoever, they block you. The game is still full of bugs, yet the developers felt comfortable to release a paid DLC map. It's clearly a massive cash grab on their part. Bohemia has given up on Blink.
What? Cars? Guns? A game that is like many years old? Still alive today? On consoles? And got a DLC map? What? So did the car should be completely off? Could it be... Okay. Okay. Maybe it's actually one of the zombie games. like DayZ or that online game, the MMO. Maybe it's State of Decay. No, because that has gotten several games. The only thing I know that like I feel like it's old and still looks old is DayZ. I'm gonna answer DayZ.
Fuck, you're right.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes!
Good job.
Yes!
Good job.
Oh, that felt good.
You did great. That was
I
really good.
played
guess.
5 minutes of that game.
Wow.
And I remember I played it.
Yeah.
I was running through like a field and came into like a small place where there's several buildings.
Yeah.
I got spotted by a zombie. And the zombies, they never stop chasing you.
No,
So
they
there's
don't.
nothing I can do.
Yeah. It's actually a fairly fun game though.
But the thing is, maybe of course I didn't give it a chance, but I was like, I was turned off by the thought of like when you get spotted, there was nothing you can do. You're dead.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's more for people who love a good challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough because you have to train the zombies. So
Train the zombies?
train as in like do a train with them.
Oh, okay. I
Running,
was
yeah.
wondering like
That's-
what kind of
that's-
freaking game did you
That's
play?
a zombie shooter game talk.
Okay.
You'll learn one day, babe.
Okay. Well, I at least ended on a good note.
You did. Good job. You did great.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then it's only cabinets left again to be filled with 2 new trophies.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Alright, let's go. The Cabinet of Horror Trophies, which is only meant for the best of the best when it comes to horror games or horror movies. So this is a cabinet filled with all sorts of delicious, juicy games and movies that has meant something special to us or in some way has left an impression. And I'm very curious of what you are bringing into the cabinet today.
And I am bringing in one of the most awesomest horror game that left a huge impression on me, actually. And that is Call of Cthulhu.
Wow.
Which you've never played
I've
or
never
really seen.
played it, but of course I know of Cthulhu, the sort of like the god or the entity or creature.
Yeah.
And we have seen some gameplay of it. But did you play this yourself or watch someone play?
No, I played half with somebody else.
Okay.
So yeah, because this game came out in 2018 on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then back then, so I'm gonna say though, this game is so beautiful and so captivating. I don't know, like I think it still holds up even to today. If you
It
were to
looks
go play
extremely good.
it, yeah, the scenery and the atmosphere and everything is just. To me, it was like perfection, almost.
Yeah, because they have this setting of like you're being in like a harbor like town city and it's gloomy, it's raining.
Yeah.
You see the sea is being like unforgiving and like the whole setting makes it so I'm gonna say it's maybe easier to make it look better because it is a bit misty. It is a lot of rain and reflections, and it just looks really good.
Yeah, no, it is. And this is, if you're not familiar with this game, it's a role-playing, survival horror kind of video game, and the game features like a semi-open world type game. But you play an investigator, a private investigator, and you basically get a phone call and you have to go and investigate, I believe it was the murders of the Hawkins family who mysteriously died, in the fire. And the only clue you have is a painting by the wife, Sarah, in the game. So you basically go off on your adventure, and this private investigator, he has his own issues. He gets like visions and he experiences weird, crazy stuff. And you do get like you have your main objective and you have side objectives that you can do in the game. It's investigation and stealth type of game, so if you don't like stealthy games, this isn't the game for you, so don't play it.
Yeah.
But this game features a lot of paranormal, demonic sceneries and stuff like that, including really, really cool and epic monsters, including the Cthulhu, and there's several in there. I remember there was a scene, but I can't remember exactly when in the game that I like where you would see the monster, but I remember being on a boat and I was going to an island, and all of a sudden the Cthulhu comes out of the water, and I'm pretty sure you had to battle it.
But that I haven't played it, but that so Cthulhu is supposedly a god, or like sort of like a cosmic sort of entity.
Yeah.
So I find it hard for like picturing a private investigator fighting him.
Well, I don't think it was like fighting with like swords and stuff like that, but I think you basically shot a cannon at it. I can't remember though.
Probably
I'll have
just to
try
escape
find
or
it.
something. Yeah, like to get away.
Yeah, but it was a pretty epic scene actually, or a moment in the game. And there's a lot of pretty good moments in the game, especially one where you're basically trying to escape these men just shooting at you, and you're going down a street or something like that, and you're having to like stealth your way through that street in order to clear it. But yeah, it's a great game. It's anxiety and it's pure intense feeling, and if you love having your adrenaline fed, then definitely try this game out.
Yeah, it does seem a bit like stressful as well, because you often have to make choices, and you have a time limit of making the choices. So you have like multiple when people approach you, and like you have like you can choose A, B, C, or D as in terms of like dialogues or something like that. So there is very much like choice and consequences as well.
Yeah. And I would say this game's almost very story driven. So yeah.
Very story driven. So
Yeah.
this is probably a game for those who love to both read and pay attention to the story, because I think they will get an extremely good experience. But if you
Yeah.
come in like expecting a lot of action, then this is not the game for you.
No, and if you're chicken shit like me, don't play it alone. But I wanted to end it on a little fun fact. That this game is actually inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's short story, The Call of Cthulhu, while also being an adaptation of the 1981 role-playing game of the same title. But I found that interesting. I didn't even know that this game had a story to it, like a written book or anything like that.
But so before you played this game, had you ever heard of H.P. Lovecraft?
I've heard of H.P. Lovecraft, but I've never read anything from them or anything like that. So I'm only familiar with the name, and that's it.
Okay. Because I'm just gonna say one thing that I found to be extremely well done in this game, and that is the transitions from cutscenes to actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Those transitions are so freaking smooth. So I remember one scene where there is a guy being thrown. The cutscene shows a guy being thrown to the side, and as he's get thrown to the side, the cutscene stops and the gameplay starts, and you see the guy flying like in front of you.
Yeah.
And that precision was just so mind-blowingly good that they actually But I'm gonna say it. So I have known of Cthulhu for a long time. So I know like Cthulhu has a fan base probably all over the world. But I have also heard a lot about H.P. Lovecraft, and that's mostly because World of Warcraft's lore is heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, because World of Warcraft has what they call the old gods, which is like cosmic entities. You have Nathath, you have Cthulhu, that do play a major role in the universe. So I've always been fascinated. I haven't read anything from H.P. Lovecraft, but I've always been fascinated by the whole old gods, the cosmic gods, and like his vision. Like his brain must have been so freaking fascinating. But I'm pretty sure it's heavy reading. If you're not really into reading, then it's gonna be tough.
a struggle for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But I do also want to mention that the ending, towards the ending of the game, you were kind of disappointed because it shows the scene where the guy, as he apparently gets cut by Sarah, and he drops some blood on these little thing he was standing on, and then the old Cthulhu is summoned, and we barely get to see him for just a few seconds.
Yeah, because I wouldn't mind if like the game ended with Cthulhu being summoned and we would see him for 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But this seriously is just
like a quick flash.
Yeah.
And
that was disappointing because Cthulhu looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So that was a bit sad though. But for a game, this is so well done.
It's great. So if you've never played it or haven't heard of it, go and check it out.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and move on with you. What was yours?
So my trophy is something that I'm gonna guess everyone has heard of, but it's just so damn good. And that is Freddy versus Jason.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And this movie, I remember that the movie itself, because at this time I wasn't like super into or updated on the horror like movies and all that. I didn't even know there was a Freddy vs. Jason in the works because I had never seen the end of the last Friday the 13th movie where you see the like the cloth Freddy grabbing the mask. So I didn't like know that hype that they had built up. Thankfully, because they fucking spent 10 years making this movie because of all the like struggles. But of course, when you have like two major franchises, it's expected to be difficult to make a movie because you don't want to disappoint any of the franchises. So it's like a versus movie where like theoretically someone should be like victorious. It's almost impossible to do because that will disappoint like 50% of the viewer base. So of course it was troublesome, and it was also two different companies that own the rights and all that. So I didn't know about that. So for me, Freddy vs. Jason just came out of nowhere, and holy damn, that got me excited. So I watched the movie, and it was fucking good.
Yeah, a lot of people actually enjoyed the movie. Now for me, I think that in that movie, Freddy was still himself, very comical, but he did show more of what you like, and it's more of the darker side.
And that's exactly because I mentioned this before that I would love for Robert Englund to come back and do like one last like more like dark, gritty Freddy movie, but he delivers that in this movie for me. Because Freddy in this movie is still comical, as you say, but he's fucking sinister. He's scary. He is sort of like the mastermind in this movie, sort of like using Jason as a puppet till a certain point, of course, but he is vicious and it shows. So he is definitely more scary. And I found him to be very good looking in this movie in terms of like the mask and like how his appearance look, especially compared to the remake. But so the Freddy delivers in this movie. I'd say I do like Jason in this movie as well. The only thing I don't like about Jason is that his head was like just pitch black for some reason.
Was it pitch black?
Yeah, I commented on you for you that it looked like black and it was so square shaped that it didn't really fit the mask. It looked a bit goofy, but
I'm not even sure who played Jason in this one.
I don't remember, but I do know that the dude that played Jason is the tallest Jason so far.
Well, that's embarrassing to all the other Jasons.
But Jason in this movie, really good, really intimidating. He's a force to be reckoned with. Like, he is unstoppable. And I do like that when they made a Freddy vs. Jason movie, it's not like many movies now. If you take, for example, I might go out on a limb here, but like Godzilla vs. Kong, those type of movies, we usually never see them fight until the very end.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
But I feel like this movie is a fucking war. They fight and fight and fight and fight.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm gonna say the actors in this movie, none of them does a really good job.
Not really.
There's not one single actor in this movie that I feel like is doing a good job. They're all okay till bad.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird for me to see Kelly Rowland in this movie because she's just a singer. So for her to be an actor, it just kind of threw me off.
She's
She
not,
wasn't as great, no.
no. But what saves it is Robert Englund, because his
Yeah.
acting is just so superb. So it doesn't
Perfection.
matter if the kids are mediocre, because he's so freaking good, and he's such a big part of the movie. He's with us from beginning to end. So that's who I'm there to see.
Yeah. No, for me, Freddy is like one of the best killers out there, because if you take into consideration to Michael Myers, who doesn't talk throughout the whole franchise.
Yeah.
And then there's Jason, who also doesn't talk
Yep.
throughout the whole franchise. And then who else is there?
Chucky?
No,
He does
come
talk.
on, we can't count Chucky. I mean, Hellraiser's
Pinhead,
okay, but
yeah.
Hellraiser barely says much to where you
He-
can really...
Not in terms of like building a personality, no.
Exactly, so you can't really... no. Mm-mm. And then who else do we have?
Leprechaun.
No! Well, I'm talking about like the most iconic killers that we all love.
Yeah.
And the main ones, I mean, Bubba doesn't even talk to
No.
the Chainsaw Massacre. I do not like. I can't stand
Yeah.
him at all, or the franchise itself. But if you think about Freddy Myers and Jason Voorhees, like,
They are the three
Freddy-
like big ones.
yeah, they're the three big ones, and Freddy just outdoes them both with his personality, his comical side, his evil side. I mean, he's just everything into one, while
Yeah.
the other two are just silent stabbers, slashers.
And that's what I like
So,
about this movie, that we do really see Freddy's evil side.
Yeah, you
But
do.
I do find, and I told you this when we saw this the last time, I've seen it so many times, that I liked that Freddy, because the thing is that Freddy is of course more powerful in the dream world. Jason is clearly more powerful in the real world.
Yeah.
So they have their strengths and weaknesses. It's the same with like fire and water. But I did like that there was a scene when Freddy is there in the dream world, and Freddy is just toying with Jason, and he drops like a big thing on him,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of like see Freddy come to a realization that of course Freddy did revive Jason, but now he's starting to realize that fuck, this thing is unkillable.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I fucked
So
up.
yeah, he's kind of like fuck,
Yeah.
I did a boo-boo, because Jason doesn't die. So I liked that, kind of like they didn't really like say anything about it, but they kind of like implied that Freddy starts to realize Jason can't be killed, and that's a problem.
Yeah, no. I have a favorite scene from it too, where he starts to swing Jason Voorhees around, and he like does his jump and he
The
humps
thrust.
the air. Yeah, the thrust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene from that.
Yeah.
It's weird, like out of everything else, that was my favorite scene because it was just so funny.
Yeah.
It came unexpectedly, so
Yeah.
it made me laugh. I loved it.
Yeah, but of course the movie is cheesy. It has like the typical tropes, and it has like people making stupid decisions and all that, but
Yeah.
it is all about Jason and Freddy, and in that like term it does deliver. We see a lot of Jason, we see a lot of Freddy, we see them fight, and I feel like the ending as well, I think they did it well, and I'm gonna say like this movie could have failed in so many ways,
Yeah.
but they actually did a good versus movie
Yeah. They
that
did.
was satisfactory for everyone, I feel, because spoiler alert, in the end we see that Jason is victorious coming out of the
Yeah,
lake,
but he had
and
help
then
though. if you think about it.
Yeah, but he came out victorious. But then, of course, we see Freddy winking to us.
Yeah, he's not
so
dead.
he's still there.
Yeah.
So that was really good. The funny thing is that the sort of like the ending they wanted for this movie, or was at least thinking about, was that the movie would end with Jason and Freddy going to sort of like hell or something, and they would like keep fighting, and then there would be chains coming out and like grabbing them, and then Pinhead would show up and he would just say, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" or something like that.
Gentlemen, seems to be what?
What seems to be the problem?
The box.
So the idea was to bring in Pinhead for maybe then a sequel. But for some reason, there's multiple sources here that says different things. Like some just say there's like license issues, but also some that said like they thought Pinhead wasn't good enough or big enough to be a part of a sequel. So he was like a lesser horror
I'm gonna
villain.
have to agree with that though, because to me, Pinhead didn't really leave a big impression on me, and he doesn't really have a personality that I'm like, I like.
But I'm gonna
him.
ask you though, how many Hellraiser movies have you seen out of the 10?
A few. Maybe I would, if I could think of on the top of my head, maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Wow,
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. I don't like them because they're so gory and has like all the skin ripping.
And we just came from watching Wrong Turns and Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I don't really have that much else to say other than like Freddy vs. Jason, with being such a risky concept of a versus movie, delivers on all points. It's so good.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. If you haven't seen
yeah.
it, go check it out.
All right, well then we're at the end of this one as well.
There we are.
And as always, we're just gonna continue our big project with all the franchises. We just finished Evil Dead.
Yep. So if you guys haven't watched those, go check it out, because we have up right now Wrong Turn 2.
Yeah, so Wrong Turn 2 is gonna pop up on YouTube in the coming weeks, and after that it's gonna be Resident Evil.
Yeah.
All
If you
right.
made it to the end, thank you for staying and listening to the entire podcast. We really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And until next time, cheerio!
Bye.